What if I told you the most shocking transfer in football history isn't a rumour, it's a plan? Liverpool are fighting fine margins, tight games, and a title race slipping through their fingers, and the solution being whispered is Lionel Messi. Can genius survive the Premier League's chaos, or will it completely rewrite the rules? Because if this move happens, everything you know about English football is about to change, and the final twist is something no one is ready for. We'll explain everything in this video step by step. Don't skit. Lights on, volume up, because this story has everything: shock, ambition, and a twist no one saw coming. Messi and Liverpool. Yes, you heard that right. Two football worlds colliding like a thunderclap at Anfield. Just imagine it for a second. The cop roaring, the red shirts flying forward, and right there in the middle of it all, Lionel Messi pulling the strings like a master conductor. Sounds unreal? That's exactly why the football world can't stop talking about it. This isn't just a transfer rumour, this is a football earthquake. After conquering Europe, rewriting history with Barcelona, lifting the World Cup and redefining greatness, yet again in America, Messi now finds himself at the centre of a surprising plan. Liverpool, a club built on intensity, pressing and pure chaos, reportedly see Messi as the missing spark, the genius who can unlock defences that refuse to break. And let's be honest, Liverpool have felt the struggle. Injuries, tight title races, painful near misses, and moments where the magic just didn't flow. The fire is still there, but the spark, that's what they're hunting. And who better than the man who's made entire defences look like training cones? But here's where it gets dramatic. Messi at Liverpool isn't just about goals and assists. It's about belief, about giving a squad that's fought through storms a leader who thrives under pressure, about turning big nights into legendary nights, about those moments when the game is locked at 1-1, the clock is ticking, and suddenly Messi does Messi things. Of course there are doubts. The pace of the Premier League, the physical battles, the cold nights, the relentless schedule. But write Messi off at your own risk. Footballers learn that lesson the hard way again and again. Every time they doubt him, he responds with history. And let's not ignore the fun side of it. Defenders trying to press Messi at Anfield, midfielders chasing shadows, the cop singing his name after a left-footed masterpiece into the top corner. Football romance at its finest. This plan, whether it becomes reality or not, has already done one thing. It's shaken the football world. It's reminded us that in this game, surprises never stop, dreams never die, and legends always find new stages. So the question isn't, can Messi play for Liverpool? The real question is, what happens to the Premier League if he does? The idea of Lionel Messi and Liverpool being mentioned in the same breath has sent shockwaves through the football world because it challenges everything fans thought they knew about the natural order of the game. Messi, a symbol of Barcelona's golden era, a Parisian superstar, a World Cup winning icon, and now a global ambassador of football in America, suddenly linked with the red heartbeat of Anfield, feels almost unreal. Yet that sense of disbelief is exactly what has fueled the buzz. Football thrives on the impossible becoming possible, and this rumour has tapped directly into that emotion. Social media erupted the moment the connection surfaced, with fans arguing, dreaming, laughing, and panicking all at once. Some see it as madness, others as genius, but no one can ignore it. Liverpool, a club defined by its history, intensity, and emotional connection with its supporters, represents a completely different footballing culture from Messi's past homes. That contrast is what makes the link so explosive. Messi has always been associated with controlled chaos, elegance, and moments of quiet brilliance, while Liverpool are known for relentless pressing, thunderous atmospheres, and football played at full throttle. The thought of these two philosophies merging has captured imaginations across the globe. Supporters picture Messi receiving the ball with the cop roaring behind him, defenders backing off in fear, and a single touch changing the direction of an entire match. Even the skeptics admit that the visual alone is powerful enough to dominate headlines. What adds more fuel to the fire is the timing. Messi has already completed football. He has won everything there is to win, including the one trophy that once haunted his legacy. Because of that, every new move he makes is seen not as a necessity, but as a choice driven by desire, curiosity, or legacy building. Liverpool, on the other hand, are at a stage where evolution feels essential. They are not rebuilding from ruins, but they are searching for that next spark, that next narrative defining chapter. Linking these two journeys together creates a story that feels cinematic, almost scripted for maximum drama. The shock factor also lies in how unexpected Liverpool are as a destination. When Messi's name appears in transfer discussions, the usual suspects follow: glamour clubs, financial giants, or sentimental returns. Liverpool don't fit neatly into any of those boxes, which is why the rumour feels so disruptive. It challenges assumptions about what motivates modern legends and what top clubs are willing to attempt. It suggests ambition that goes beyond logic, an imagination that refuses to be limited by age, playing style, or convention. This single link has dominated conversations not because of confirmed details, but because of what it represents. It represents football's ability to surprise even the most seasoned fans. It represents the idea that history is not finished being written, even for players whose stories already seem complete. It has turned casual supporters into dreamers and rivals into nervous observers, all while reminding everyone why transfer rumours, no matter how unlikely, remain one of the most thrilling parts of the beautiful game. Liverpool recent journey has been one of relentless effort mixed with frustration, a period where the hunger has never disappeared, but the rewards have not always followed. This is a club that lives on intensity, rhythm, and belief, yet in recent seasons, those elements have flickered rather than burned consistently. Injuries have disrupted momentum at the worst possible moments, forcing constant reshuffles and breaking the flow that once made Liverpool look unstoppable. Key matches have slipped away not because of a lack of desire, but because the final touch, the decisive pass, or the moment of inspiration failed to arrive when it was needed most. The Premier League has grown increasingly unforgiving, and Liverpool have felt that pressure week after week. Margins have become razor thin, where one missed chance or one lapse in concentration can define an entire campaign. Despite dominating possession or pressing opponents into mistakes, there have been games here control did not translate into goals. The system still works, the effort is still there, but football at the highest level demands more than structure and energy. It demands a player who can break patterns, slow the game down in chaos, and produce something extraordinary when everything else stalls. This is where the idea of Messi becomes so compelling. Liverpool do not need someone to teach them how to fight. They need someone who can decide matches with a single touch. In tight games against deep defences, when crosses are cleared and pressing yields nothing, Messi represents a different solution. He is the player who forces defenders to step out position, who turns cautious teams into panicked ones, and who transforms sterile dominance into goals. For a side that has often done everything right except score, that kind of influence feels priceless. There is also a psychological dimension to Liverpool's struggles. Near misses leave scars, and repeated battles that end just short of glory can drain belief, even in the strongest dressing rooms. Bringing in a figure like Messi is not only about tactical impact, but emotional reset. His presence alone changes how opponents prepare and how teammates feel stepping onto the pitch. Confidence rises, fear shifts to the other side, and suddenly narrow games feel winnable again. Liverpool's young players would gain a reference point for composure, while experienced ones would feed off the renewed sense of possibility. The fizzy. Cal demands of Liverpool's style have also taken a toll over time, especially in matches where intensity is high but rewards are low. Messi offers an alternative rhythm, someone who does not rely on constant sprinting but on intelligence, positioning, and timing. That balance could preserve energy across long seasons, allowing Liverpool to control games in multiple ways rather than relying on one relentless gear. It would add unpredictability to a team that opponents have learned to prepare for, making game plans far more difficult to execute. Ultimately, Liverpool's interest in Messi symbolises a desire to solve problems that effort alone cannot fix. It is an acknowledgement that while passion and pressing define the club, genius still decides titles. The idea of Messi as the missing piece is rooted in the belief that one extraordinary footballer can turn struggle into control, tension into confidence, and promising performances into unforgettable victories. The idea of Lionel Messi stepping into the Premier League immediately triggers debate, doubt, and drama, because this league has a reputation for exposing even the greatest players. The pace is ruthless, the physical battles are constant, and there is no place to hide on cold nights against opponents fighting for survival. For many, the question is not about Messi's talent, but about whether his style can withstand the intensity that defines English football. Every touch should be scrutinised, every quiet game magnified, and every missed chance turned into fuel for critics who have waited years for this moment. Age is the first challenge that dominates the conversation. Messi is no longer the teenager who danced past defenders with endless stamina, and the Premier League does not slow down for legends. Midfielders press relentlessly, defenders tackle with force, and referees allow a level of physical contact that can shock players arriving from other leagues. Doubters argue that Messi would be targeted, kicked and tested in ways he has not experienced consistently before. They question whether his body can endure a season filled with twice weekly battles and minimal recovery time. Then comes the tactical challenge. Liverpool's system is built on collective pressing, rapid transitions, and defensive contribution from every forward. Integrating Messi into that structure would require adaptation on both sides. Messi has always thrived with freedom, drifting into spaces where he can dictate play rather than chase opponents. The debate centres on whether Liverpool would adjust their identity for him or whether Messi would be asked to adapt to demands that are foreign to his game. This tension between structure and freedom adds another layer of uncertainty that fuels endless discussion. There is also the emotional and cultural challenge of English football itself. Stadiums are unforgiving, media pressure is relentless, and patience is limited. A few quiet matches can quickly turn admiration into skepticism. Messi would arrive not just as a new signing, but as the most decorated player in football history, carrying expectations that are almost impossible to satisfy. Every performance would be judged against his own legacy, not against the standard of normal players, creating a pressure that few have ever faced in England. Yet history has repeatedly shown that doubting Messi is a dangerous game. He has faced similar questions before in different leagues, competitions and phases of his career. Each time he has responded by redefining what is possible. While the Premier League is unique, intelligence, vision and decision-making often outlast speed and strength. Messi's ability to read the game, find pockets of space and deliver decisive moments does not disappear with age or physicality. If anything, those qualities become more valuable in tight, high-stakes matches. The drama lies in the collision between expectation and reality. If Messi succeeds, it would shatter one of the last remaining arguments against his greatness. If he struggles, it would ignite debates that echo for years. This uncertainty is what makes the idea so captivating, because it places a footballing icon in the harshest environment imaginable, where every game is a test and every moment has consequences. The arrival of Lionel Messi at Anfield would not simply be another high-profile transfer, it would be a moment capable of reshaping the entire landscape of the Premier League. His presence alone will shift the balance of power before a ball is even kicked. Opponents would adjust tactics, sit deeper, double mark and build game plans entirely around limiting his influence, which in turn would create space for Liverpool's attackers to exploit. Matches that once felt cagey and unpredictable would suddenly tilt in Liverpool's favour, because one moment of genius can undo 90 minutes of discipline. Title races are often decided by fine margins, and Messi thrives in those margins. In seasons where Liverpool have fallen short, the difference has often been a handful of draws or narrow defeats against stubborn opposition. Messi's ability to turn a draw into a win with a free kick, a disguised pass or a perfectly timed run could directly translate into crucial points. Over the course of a long campaign, those moments accumulate, transforming consistency into dominance and keeping Liverpool firmly in the hunt until the final weeks. Beyond points and trophies, Messi's impact would ripple through the league psychologically. Teams that once approached matches against Liverpool with confidence would now arrive with caution, even fear. Defenders would hesitate, midfielders would drop deeper, and pressing structures would become less aggressive, all to avoid being exposed by a single mistake. That hesitation alone can decide games at the highest level. Liverpool would benefit not only from what Messi does on the ball, but from what opponents stop doing because of him. The influence doubly also extend to Liverpool's dressing room. Young players would develop faster by training alongside a footballing mind that sees the game differently. Experienced players would feel renewed motivation, driven by the chance to share the pitch with a living legend. Standards would rise, focus would sharpen, and belief would become unshakable in decisive moments. Big games, which often define seasons, would feel less daunting when there is a player capable of changing everything in seconds. From a league-wide perspective, Messi's presence would elevate the Premier League's global narrative. Rival clubs would feel pressure to respond, increasing competition at the very top. Matches involving Liverpool would become must-watch events, intensifying scrutiny and raising the stakes for every contender. The title race would gain an added layer of drama, where every Messi moment could swing momentum not just for one club, but for the entire season. Most importantly, Messi at Anfield would symbolise a shift in how success is pursued in the Premier League. It would blend relentless intensity with pure artistry, proving that physicality and intelligence do not have to exist separately. Liverpool would not abandon their identity, but evolve it, adding creativity to chaos and control to passion. The result would be a team capable of winning in multiple ways, adapting to different opponents and scenarios, and sustaining a title challenge built on both force and finesse. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.